What's going on, everybody? Today we're making a drunken lobster mac and cheese on the smoker. Let me show you how it's done. All right, friends. So step one, we've got to pre-make that pasta. So we've got our elbow mac and cheese. We're going to go ahead and get that boiling out of here. Take about 8 to 10 minutes. And once we're done with that, we'll get it drained and we'll start the next part of the process. All right, everybody, so that pasta is ready to go. I got it sitting over in the pan here. I got a little oil in there too so that the pasta doesn't stick together. Let's sit here, rest, cool off just for a moment because it won't matter because we're going to be back in the smoker anyway. So got this all cleaned out. We're going to use the same pot here since we're outdoors to get all of our cheese roux ready to go. So we're going to start with a little bit of butter, about a quarter cup here. I'm going to use a little Kerrygold butter here today. It's been sitting out for a few minutes so it's nice and melted as well. So should melt really easily in there. We're going to go ahead and add a little bit of flour in there, about a quarter cup of flour. And then what I'm also doing is I'm going to add a little bit of spices. So I'm going to start with just an all-purpose rub. I'm using some Meat Church here today, the Gospel. Put a little bit of that in there. And because we're going with that lobster, I'm going to go with some Holy Voodoo here just to give a little bit of different taste as well. So these seasonings will melt in with that butter and that flour here for a moment. And then we'll add the rest of our stuff. Smell that butter and the seasonings already in the bottom of this pan. Holy cow. All right, so what we'll do next is we'll go ahead and get ready to add our next few ingredients. So we're going to throw in about a cup of milk. I'm going to use whole milk here today. I usually don't drink whole milk around the house, so I just got a small container here. We'll just slowly pour about a cup of that milk in there. And then next we're going to add in some beer because, you know, it's the Drunken Lobster. So you can add any beer you want. Probably a lighter beer might not be too bad. I'm going with what I got, some Sweetwater Extra Pale Ale. Slowly pour that in there as well. And with the seasonings and that butter and that flour in the bottom of that pan, we're going to grab that whisk and start to whisk things together here just for a few moments. And then when we come back, we'll start to add in a few more ingredients. All right, so we let that sit here for about 90 seconds or so. So next we're going to add a little bit of Dijon mustard. Only about a teaspoon or so. And about a teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce as well. And what we'll do is we'll come back and whisk that back together here. We'll let this continue to thicken for a few more minutes. And then we're going to come and add our cheeses. All right, we've let that thicken just a little bit, so now we'll go ahead and add in some of those cheeses. I've got myself about 8 ounces here of a block of sharp cheddar cheese that I shredded. Do that, my friends. Don't ever buy the pre-shredded stuff. You'll thank me later, trust me. And a little bit of Gruyere cheese as well. This is about a cup of that Gruyere cheese. So we'll throw those in here. We'll start to whisk that together, and then we'll come back. And I earlier sauteed up some onions, some jalapenos. We're going to mix that in as well. All right, so I got those shells ready to go here, that macaroni pasta. That cheese roux we made is ready to go. So we're just going to pour that across the top. And we're going to add a few more things to start to mix it together. So here are those jalapenos and onions I mentioned earlier. Go ahead and get those out of here. Give those a light mix before we add the next ingredient. So you could you could stop right here and add any type of like seafood, like maybe we want to do shrimp, maybe we want to do crawfish. But today we're doing lobster. So do a little something different. Now, I didn't make this lobster myself, only because I'm trying to do this a little quicker today. So I was actually able to find a little package here of pre-cooked lobster tails. So this is about a pound of those lobster tails. They were frozen, so I'll let them thaw out. And what we'll do is we'll get them ready to roll here. Right out of that package. And considering how much that costs, I want to make sure I get every little piece out of there. Trust me. All right, so we'll mix that back together here. A little bit of that lobster in there. Looking good already, my friends. Now, we're not going to stop right there. I pre-made some bacon over here on the Blackstone griddle. When I made that bacon, I always use a little hot honey haw on my bacon as just a little bit of a seasoning. So, and then I crumbled it up. So we're going to take that bacon, put that in there as well. We'll mix that up. Oh my gosh, friends. If you could smell this right now, you can smell that beer in that cheese. I love cooking with the beer when possible. And it's usually a cheese involved as well, I have to admit. But this smells so good right now. All right, my friends. So we'll get that ready to go right there across the top. And then what we're going to do last here is I actually took some homemade, or some not homemade, but some crackers, and I grinded them up here. And so we're going to take some of the cracker crumbs and just lightly sprinkle those across the top. Now, we're not done yet adding things. We're going to add a few more things when this comes off the smoker. But for now, I got the Weber Smoky Mountain going behind me at about 300 degrees because I've got a few other items going on there today as well. We're going to throw this on there for about 30 to 40 minutes. Then we pull it back off. We'll take a look and see what we got. Let's get on the smoker. All right, friends. Let's get that Drunken lobster mac and cheese ready to take off that smoker. So it's been on here for about 45 minutes. We're going to add a few more pieces here to it. So what we're going to do is add some chopped green onions just across the top of that for ourselves. And then, because you can never really get enough bacon, right? I mean, if you disagree with me, put it in the comments. But I have a funny feeling nobody's going to disagree in the comments on this one. But we'll add some more bacon across the top. There we go, my friends. Let's get off the smoker. Well, the Drunken mac and cheese with that lobster is off of the smoker. I've let it sit here and cool for about 2 minutes. So it's ready for a taste test, my friends. Take a look. We added that bacon, those green onions across the top. Looking absolutely amazing. Grab ourselves a spoon. Off to the side here, make sure I get a little piece of that lobster in there, some of that bacon, that mac and cheese. You can smell the beer right now as I'm sitting here. You can smell the beer cheese. Almost like a beer cheese dip. You can smell that beer cheese right now, which I absolutely love. Absolutely amazing. So the taste of that lobster, those seasonings that we laid through there with those 2 meat churches seasonings, that bacon, those 2 cheeses that we laid in there as well. You could get creative with this and add some other cheeses as well. Maybe there's a different cheese you like, one you don't like. Really, I'm not here to judge your cheeses, friends, but do whatever you want. But that lobster meat, absolutely phenomenal in there. I tell you what. And those bread, I love the fact that I grounded up those crackers instead of using like panko breadcrumbs across the top. It gives us like a little crunchy top. Absolutely amazing, my friends. Here's one more final look for you guys, my friends. Hopefully you enjoy this recipe. We'll put everything you need to know in the description. Make sure you subscribe to our channel, like this episode, share it with your friends, especially if you know like mac and cheese. We'll see you guys again on Bones and Brews.